Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different. I've spoken on 9 seasons of American Horror Story at this point, and it kind of occurred to me that I haven't really spoken on American Horror Stories yet, which, if you didn't know, is the spin-off of American Horror Story, where instead of every single season being a different new story with new characters, new locations, they apply that concept to every episode. They essentially saw the success of Black Mirror and were like, let's try to copy that vibe. I don't know if I'm gonna make this a series yet. It just depends on how well this video does. But today I'm only going to be talking about the first 2 episodes of this spin-off show. During May of 2020, it was announced by Ryan Murphy via his Instagram account that there would be a spin-off called American Horror Stories, which would focus on everything I just told you, basically American Horror Story season, all crammed into one episode. This really rejuvenated the excitement for American Horror Story. I mean, 1984 had just aired and it was a decent season in a lot of critics' eyes and a lot of fans' eyes. It was the first fresh season we had gotten in a while. By the way, the first 2 episodes takes place within the murder house, and it's completely new characters that we've never even heard of before. There's no cameos from Murder House, which is a choice for sure, because if you want fans to get behind this, I feel as though you kind of need to include some of the fan favorite characters that made Murder House so popular. And not even that Murder House is everyone's favorite season. That's just the season that started it all. So the episode is about this girl, her name is Scarlett, and her 2 gay dads that move into the murder house. Oh my gosh, it's giving Wish, Ben, Vivian, and Violet. Basically, the dads are house flippers. Their plan is to rejuvenate the house, sell it for a lot of money, and then go move somewhere nice. So we have Scarlett. She is a moody teenage girl, much like Violet was a moody teenage girl. I fear Ryan Murphy just has like one mode. He can write a story about a family.
The light is different out here. It's softer.
When we call out for love.
That are falling apart.
Oh my God. No.
We don't have the money to pay him. We have almost no extra cash. And while you may be great at sucking dick, with all the work we have left to do, a couple BJs aren't going to make up the difference.
There's a moody teenager.
Taking deep breaths.
I need to go to the bathroom.
We're almost there.
I need to go.
Bye. It's a freeway. I mean, really, where do you want me to pull over? Maybe the Honda next to us has a bathroom or something.
But if baby substituted shit, you'd find somewhere.
Can you at least pull over so I can get out? You know what, never mind. I'll just hurl myself.
They move into a haunted place.
Classic LA Victorian, built around 1920 by the doctor to the stars at the time. It's just fabulous. These are real Tiffany fixtures.
The teenage girl is usually the one to see the ghosts first. He really only has like one mode when it comes to haunted house stories, I fear. So the episode opens with the 2 gay dads. I could not tell you their names to save my life. They are driving the daughter to see the house for the first time. Also, as soon as they walk in the house, it's immediately less cool than it was in Murder House. Same thing happened in Apocalypse. The vibe was just not how it was in Murder House, and it was really disappointing. There was a certain aura about the house when Murder House came out. And now that they've been there like 100 fucking times, it's not as interesting and it doesn't look as cool. So dad number 2, which is what I like to call the blonde one, says that people love to get scared and that they are going to profit off that by flipping the house and turning it into like a scary Airbnb situation. This is literally just like Margaret from 1984 when she was like, I'm gonna get all these people to come in and see this scary haunted place that I remodel. And it's not good. So Scarlett walks away, and I think she's in her bedroom when she sees this, but the Beauregard ball rolls towards her, and so this must mean that Beauregard's gonna come out to play. No, so we don't see Beauregard. She looks in the closet in the hallway and finds the Rubberman costume, and in the most fan servicey way, she puts on the Rubberman costume and the Rubber Woman is born. The Kill Bill whistle is playing in the background, and it's not subtle at all. Oh, immediately she gets creeped out by having the suit on, so she takes it off immediately and throws it in the trash. The next day at school, we meet Paris Jackson's character. Yes, Paris Jackson is in this TV show. I don't have any further comment on that, but we see Paris Jackson. I think her name is Maya. During a school lecture, we see Scarlett looking over and actually like staring at Maya. We can tell Scarlett might be into girls. This girl, Maya, we're unsure about because she's one of the popular girls. So later that day, we see Scarlett and she is playing a game with herself in her bedroom, fantasizing about Paris Jackson's character, Maya. Then we see her fantasies of her wanting to choke Maya. So we can tell that she's into some interesting things. She then texts Maya and Maya is like, you should come over. The girls are asleep. Like, it'll be okay. It'll be just us. She's giving very much flirting with her. We then get a scene with the dads, and this is one of the most fuck-ass scenes in the episode. They basically accuse her of her excessive porn usage. She is like trying to defend herself, and her parents are like so very overbearing and overprotective. So they make her see a therapist because they believe that something is wrong with her. I feel like the episode is trying so hard to be edgy that it's just not working, I fear. Even Murder House itself was kind of like this, but we had better actors portraying the roles, so therefore it was a little bit more believable. Not a single person in this cast do I feel like I can relate to. Maybe the therapist is like grounded in reality a little bit. Nobody else is grounded in reality, at least not our reality. The way they speak, the way they act, it's very much giving Dollar Tree American Horror Story. In response to them telling Scarlett that she needs to see a therapist, she puts the rubber costume back on and takes a knife, goes in their room and tries to scare them, prank them, question mark. We're not sure if she's like possessed by the actual rubber man. So she goes in their room and scares the absolute shit out of them. One of the dads, I think dad number 2, the blonde one, he walks up to her and like tries to take the knife from her, but then she accidentally cuts his arm. That's when they're like, you're grounded, and we're going to see therapist today. So in therapy, we meet the therapist. Could not tell you her name, but she's like the only character, as I said before, that's like grounded in reality. Like, she's the only one that I feel is a real person. So in therapy, they talk about the fact that Scarlett was kidnapped as a kid. They come to the conclusion that something must have happened to her that would have made her this into BDSM, violent shit. I don't know. It's trying to be edgy again, and it's losing me. It's losing me at this point. So the dads ground her because she did like actually assault her dad with a knife. So after the therapy session ends, the therapist tries to go to the bathroom, and then after she gets out of the bathroom, she is attacked by the rubber man and she dies. She dies. Don't know where the body's put. The dads are just living there without knowing that there's a body somewhere in their house. So then we see Maya text Scarlett that she needs to sneak out. Basically at the sleepover, they get at a point where they are alone, and the other girlies in Paris Jackson's house are just the most homophobic, judgmental bitches. But Paris Jackson, she really sees who Scarlett is on a real deep level, and she can relate to her.
You're the only one here who isn't fake. You say what you want, even if people make fun of you for it. And you don't, like, conform to the superficial standards that everybody else does. Like shaving your pits or brushing your hair.
She's not just experimenting. This is who she is. She just has to hide it from her friends. So they start kissing, and basically she's like, oh, I've never had sex before. Maya's like, that's weird because I haven't either. I was really counting on you to like show me a couple things. And Scarlett's like, I don't think the things that I'm into would be the things that you're into. Then Scarlett basically just like confesses all of her kinks to Maya. She looks at her phone. She's getting like a bunch of texts from her friend, I don't remember her name, but her friend at school, and she's like, they're live streaming this whole thing, get out of there now, girl. And so it's bad for our girl Scarlett right here. She's embarrassed as fuck, and she runs out of the house screaming, crying, because yeah, the whole school is now aware of what Scarlett is into, all the BDSM, violence. Later that night, she returns home and her dads are like passed the fuck out. So she takes a shower and then gets a call from Maya and her friends. She basically threatens to end her own life.
I'm gonna end the night by killing myself.
Bullshit.
No. So I'm gonna commit suicide and leave a note saying very clearly that you guys are the reason why.
I'm not even gonna lie here. She does devour just a little bit in this scene. She really does. Not that this is an okay thing to do. Other than this, though, I'm kind of undecided if she's a decent actor or not. So she plans to blackmail the girls to come to her house. They can talk terms, I guess. Talking terms equals a lot of violent shit in her mind, apparently. So the girls arrive, and the redheaded twins from season 1, Brian and Troy, I believe their names are, they show up and they lock the girlies in the basement for Scarlett. I don't know when she becomes aware of the ghosts in the house, but probably here because she starts to see people helping her out. So it's here where she picks off the girls one by one, and it's just not a good scene. They use the, I don't remember what the song is called, but the like, my album's out this week, by the way. It's not giving what Murder House was giving, unfortunately. She kills them and then hides the bodies in the crawl space in the wall. And then the therapist is like, you need to start seeing me or the other therapist that lives in this house because you are unwell. You just killed 4 people. That's basically where part 1 of the episode ends. By the way, so boring, but part 2 is much worse. If you just took this episode at face value, okay, whatever. Did they need to make a part 2? Did they need to continue the story from here on out? I don't personally believe so, but they do anyway. It continues to shit on the already shitty diaper that was this episode. So at this point, I think it's been like 2 months since the last episode. Miss Scarlett has met a ghost named Ruby, and they have fallen in love here. Ruby is played by Kaya Gerber from Death Valley, one of the worst actors in that, actually. And I'm pretty sure she's not even an actress. I think she's like a model.
Much better at modeling than acting, let me just tell you.
So Ruby tells her backstory about how she was kidnapped by her uncle after her parents died. And her uncle was like really, really sweet to her for like 2 months. And then after that, he started to abuse her. Basically, she finds out at a certain age that her parents didn't actually die. Then she like ran away after she found her parents again, was like, I'm gonna kill myself. So she comes to the murder house to do it, and that's why she died in the house. Absolutely no timeline is given to us, which is convenient because then they can just tell a shitty story without it making sense. So then we see 2 cops show up, and they are unnamed as far as I'm concerned. They make absolutely no impact. They are investigating the disappearances of Maya and her friends who were last seen here in this house. There is a cell phone record obviously that leads them here because she coerced them to come to her house. The dads brush it off and they're just like, oh, we didn't see them. So the girls, and by the girls I mean Paris Jackson and her friends, are tormenting Scarlett now that they are ghosts. One thing I don't like about this episode is Ruby's inclusion. Despise her. She's trying way too hard to be edgy. I don't buy it. They're trying to make her the next Tate because she's wearing the Normal People Scare Me shirt that I guess she fucking stole from him. The fact that there are no returning actors in this episode when there's a whole laundry list of characters that we know that reside here in this murder house. Basically, Dad 1 wants to sell the house ever since the whole girl's disappearance. He's a little bit sketched out about his daughter. He also believes that he has seen a couple of ghosts here and there. And Dad number 2 is like of the mindset that they need to keep going with this remodel or else they're not going to get any of their money back. So now he has called in this separate contractor guy named Adam. And he is a flop, if I'm being honest with you. Because the dads don't have any money for a contractor, Dad number 2 is like, oh, I'll give you a little blowjob on the side. And that will be his payment for helping with the house because they don't have any money. Dad number 1 sees right through this.
And while you may be great at sucking dick, with all the work we have left to do, a couple BJs aren't going to make up the difference.
It's just acted out so badly, I fear. So the contractor Adam and Dad number 2 have sex. Dad number 1 basically calls them both upstairs and is like, what is that fucking smell? So they look in the crawl space and find the dead bodies. Adam, the contractor guy, is revealed to be this like sketchy ass contractor contractor that has like lawsuits against him for stealing money and a bunch of bullshit. He takes a hammer and hits his assistant contractor on the head, and it's the most fuck ass scene. Don't know why it's here. Don't know why he's included in this. Don't have any idea what they were going for here. I don't know why he's just suddenly revealed to be a murderer himself. It's the most random inclusion. I genuinely don't know what's going on here, but maybe that's not the point. So Adam tries to leave the house and he is immediately picked off by the rubber man. At this point, the dads try to run away because they see Adam get killed by the rubber man. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? But then they end up running in circles and it's revealed that the dads were dead all along. What a twist. As if they didn't do it in Murder House.
Michael! I'm so sorry. I should have believed you. Okay, I'm so sorry. What's happening? What's happening?
We basically learned that Ruby killed them like the night before or something so that Scarlett would kill herself and stay with her, because if her dads were killed in the house, then she would have more incentive to stay. I don't know. The reasoning here is exactly the same reasoning Tate was giving Violet in season 1. They can't come up with an original idea to save their asses. So later that day, Scarlett finds all the bodies and all together the family have like a therapy session with the doctor, and now it's Halloween. So Scarlett and Ruby decide to go to a Halloween party, and Maya and her friends decide to follow them. So they all go to this Halloween party. Scarlett runs and hides because if she dies off the property, she'll be dead forever. Paris and her friends are chased by Ruby and they have like a fight with each other all night. So it's here that Scarlett decides to leave because she doesn't want to die. She wants to live out in the real world. Where was the character development? Did I miss something? In the last episode, she wanted to kill herself after the girlies humiliated her. So we see her saying goodbye to her dads, and it becomes apparent right here that there is going to be no cameos. No cameos of any kind by any of the former cast of the show, which is so unfortunate. I think the only one we actually get is Gladys the nurse who died in the 60s. That's the only one. So we see her leave and say goodbye to her dad, say goodbye to Ruby, and then it cuts to 10 months later where Scarlett is on the phone with Ruby and she's like, I found your uncle, your fake uncle. I'm gonna go in and kill him. So she goes and kills this random ass man.
I found him, your fake uncle.
I got pretty close using Facebook, then I had to hardcore gross flirt with some dude at the DMV to get his address, but...
So now she's like this vigilante in this rubber suit. 2 months later, she comes back to the house, reunites with her family, and we end with this boring ass monologue given by Ruby about how she's in love with Scarlett, and every time Scarlett comes to visit her on Halloween, it's the best day ever.
And so I waited, nervous and tremulous like the love-struck schoolgirl I will always be.
Do they really think I care that much? Like, genuinely, this is just, oh, it's so bad. They were just trying so hard to recreate Tate and Violet, which was not even a good relationship in the first place. Like, yes, it had people in a chokehold, but was it good? No, it was not good at all.
What? Don't blame me and pass the buck on to everybody else. You screwed up.
There was not an aspect of that relationship that was healthy or even interesting. Like, it was literally just they both liked dark things. They were both edgy. Okay, the actors were good, but did I give a fuck about the characters? Not at all. I didn't give a shit. And I'm not even going to lie. I might be in the minority there, but when you have actresses such as Sierra McCormick and Kaya Gerber, who's not even a real actress, acting this relationship out, a lot of it is on the writing. I don't want to fault her and I don't want to fault Kaya Gerber, but Kaya Gerber, like I said, is not trained to be an actor. She's just a nepo baby. And Sierra McCormick, like I said, she has potential. She has acted in other things since she was a kid. Hello, Ant Farm. A lot of it is with the writing, I think. And like Matt Bomer and his husband, a couple of other people who, like Paris Jackson, I'm sure they can do other work. But the lines here and the dialogue, oh, it's D-level. It might be D-level dialogue. That paired with the fact that this episode is 90 minutes in total is just so unnecessary. There's no reason why this second part of the episode even needs to exist. They could have just ended it at Scarlett killing them in part 1 and oh, what happens next? I don't need to know. Black Mirror, for example, does that shit all the time where it's like open-ended and you don't necessarily need like the fallout of whatever the fuck is going on. I just feel like it's such a letdown because I was so excited for this show when they announced it during the pandemic. And for the first episode to be such a miss kind of sets the tone for what was to come later in season 1, which, let me know if you want me to break that down. It's a no for me. So this, paired with the later episodes that would come from this spinoff, paired with season 10 of American Horror Story, 2021 was not a good year for American Horror Story. We were in the trenches. Thankfully, season 2 of American Horror Stories is a little bit better. NYC is much better than Double Feature, in my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. This was an interesting era. This episode will be on Patreon a whole week early. If you would like to go down and support me on there, that is entirely up to you. And yeah, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys would like to see the rest of this series broken down. I think I might do it episode by episode because I don't want to watch it all together. I think I'm gonna have to take breaks in between. Oh, one more thing on the Patreon thing. Videos that are a little bit shorter in length like this, I think I'm going to release like once or twice a month when I'm not doing anything really big, and those videos will come out either exclusively on Patreon or I'll release it a week later on YouTube, depending on if there's an actual audience for it. I will also be taking requests on Patreon, so that's a big deal. If you do end up doing the highlighted tier on my Patreon page, then message me, DM me. I'm not exactly sure how it works. Let me know what video you want to see, and I will personally make it for you for choosing to support me further. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!